Subscribe or they will haunt you. What scene in a movie really pissed you off? In Office Space when Milton didn't get his slice of cake. Still bothers me 21 years later. Now Milton, don't be greedy. Let's pass it along and make sure everyone gets a piece. Autobots teleporting from America to England via terrible transition in the last Transformer movie. The most bizarre part for me was that they had to go to Trinity Library, which is in Dublin, Ireland. And yet Hopkins just waltzes through a door in London and he's there. It would be like a movie being set in Toronto and a character all of a sudden is in the Statue of Liberty. Near the end of The Wedding Singer, when that douchebag Glenn thinks it's so nice of himself to agree to let Julia lean over him when they fly over the Vegas Strip. That little smirk he does makes me want to punch the TV. Julia Gulia. Not a specific movie, but I hate it when a character is trying to be sneaky, but they are also having a conversation with someone that the person they are hiding from could easily hear. Example, in Back to the Future 2nd, when Marty is hiding in the back of Biff's car whilst shouting at Doc Brown into a walkie-talkie. The end of Grease, where the car flies into the air for no reason. Iron Man 3. Tony threatens a terrorist and then walks around his house in the only one of his 42 suits that doesn't have any weapons on it. If he'd been wearing literally any suit from Mark 1 to 41, those choppers wouldn't have been a problem. The end of I'm Legend missed the whole point of the book's ending. The book's ending is much better than what they filmed. It's Hollywood, so they had to make that version. John Wick, when Viggo knocks John out but then ties him up instead of just killing him. I know that the bad guy not taking the opportunity to kill the hero is a common thing, but killing John is literally Viggo's only goal. John has nothing that Viggo needs, and Viggo himself delivered a huge speech about what an unstoppable badass John is. If anybody should have taken the opportunity to kill John while he was defenseless, it's Viggo. But he is Viggo. You are like the buzzing of flies to him. In one of the G.I. Joe films there is an explosion underwater and the ice at the top falls down and starts landing on the underwater base. Ice floats. First scene in the Artemis Fowl movie shows the main character, who is notoriously unathletic and uncoordinated in the books, riding some waves on a surfboard. My sister made it 10 minutes into that film. Texts me to say it's shite and not to bother, then reread the books to purge it from her memory. Any scene in Harry Potter that could be completely and easily solved with magic they've already demonstrated in the previous films. It's like they forget every spell they've ever learned except the one the story wants them to use. Towards the end of Speed, when Sandra Bullock's character is told to stay put for a minute, I knew in my heart that, after being a total step to the plate badass for the entire movie, that they were going to have her do something stupid and banal. Sure enough, she steps out into the open, gets snapped, and then gets put into a damsel in distress situation for Keanu to save. The end of Titanic, when Rose dies she goes into the afterlife to be with some dude she had a fling with 80 years ago. What about her husband? People she spent a lifetime with? Maybe a child that died before her? I'm making some assumptions, but you get my point. 80 years ago, and for only 3 days no less. My mom and grandmother also always got pissed when Rose threw the necklace away, when she could have given it to her granddaughter, or started a charity/foundation in Jack's name. Not really pissed off, but an entire theater of slightly pissed off people. I was in college and a bunch of us went to see the X-Files movie in the theater. This was in Texas. There's a scene when Mulder is in Dallas, and he asks a bunch of kids at a playground where the alien, or whatever went, and they all point west towards some huge Rockies type mountains. The whole theater of Texans spit out their popcorn and WTFD at the same time. Any scene in the Terminator films where the Terminator shoots a gun and misses. You're telling me Skynet can build intelligent machines and they figured out time travel, yet they can't be programmed to aim straight? For me it was when a Terminator gets their hands on someone and then throws them. They have a hydraulic press grip. They could literally crush someone's skull with one hand while barely paying attention. If they get their hands on you and they want you dead, you're dead. Because that's what they are. T1 and T2 didn't have this problem and were so much more intense for it. Superman beating the hell out of Steppenwolf. All the other characters are useless from that point onwards. Honestly, the biggest reason I don't like Justice League. Might as well just called it Superman Returns. The amount of bread Bill wasted while preparing a sandwich for his daughter in Kill Bill. Whenever a character runs from danger and falls, like it is first time in their life they've ran. Whenever a character has a heated argument with their girlfriend/boyfriend and all that could be avoided if either of them let other explain the situation or misunderstandment. The one where Pietro, Quicksilver, dies while saving Clint, Hawkeye. The movie made a great job at making me believe he is absolutely fast enough to get them all to safety. Also, all the missed opportunities, if he had lived. See Osp's trope talk on plot twists for more. When Pio's dad says the future of noodles is dice cut vegetables. WTF goose. That's a terrible idea. You're gonna go out of business. Whenever you can tell that the film cost billions with a script that isn't worth a dime. The entire Aragon movie. Every scene where a victim being pursued by an attacker knocks out or knocks down the attacker and the victim doesn't finish the job. Egg. From Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, when Indy survived a nuclear explosion by hiding in a refrigerator. James Bond, Casino Royale, construction site chase. Front end loaders don't have bulletproof glass. Crane controls don't lock into position. And the worst error, the scissor lift. Bond whacks an electrical control box that lets out a hiss of air that causes the hydraulic cylinders to retract. Scissor lifts can't move that fast and don't run on air pressure. In Return of the King, Sam gives Frodo his water after Frodo runs out and says there's only a few drops left. Frodo then forgets how to drink and spills the last drops of water all over the place. To be fair, the ring's hold on him was really strong at that point and he literally didn't have the energy to give himself water. The first race in the first Cars movie. Chick Hicks is just causing crashes left and right. He puts every single car out of commission except for himself, Strip Weathers, and Lightning McQueen. And nobody says a goddamn thing. Everything is peachy keen until the very end, when he almost kills Strip. And then then when Lightning is pushing Strip across the finish line. Right after Chick bumps him and nearly killed him, the announcers have the fucking gall to say, is pushing on the last lap legal? Seriously? This car almost killed another car going 200 miles per hour, and they're worried about another car helping the aforementioned car finish the race. And then they hand the goddamn piston cup to the car that has been systematically murdering other cars all season. Jesus Christ, that fucking movie.